Ready? So, we are talking about the Phoenicians today, which are probably going to be one of the most influential groups that are going to be in this area. We've talked about them before with Egypt, and we kind of see it right here on the front. They are going to be responsible for the alphabet, spreading across much of the ancient world, and we owe them our alphabet in the long ways, which is really cool. So, Phoenicia is exactly where we were talking about before, the land of Canaan. Now, Phoenicia, though, was not going to be one big country. No, it is going to be, oh gosh, what are those called? I feel like when we talked about Mesopotamia, we had the same idea. We described it as what word did we use to describe when it's not one big country, but a bunch of city somethings? Oh goodness, I'm so forgetful.
City-states?
What is it, Danny?
City-state?
Yeah, Eliza got it too. Yeah, they're city-states. So it was not a unified nation, not one big country, but a collection of city-states. And some of the city-states are going to be more powerful than others. Tyre, Sidon, Byblos are going to be the most famous of them. I'm never going to test you on that. Eventually, the one we're going to get to at the end of the week, Carthage, is even going to be on Africa, but it's going to be an incredible and powerful city-state. Now, the Phoenicians were extremely famous for their ability to sail. Now, we have to think, today we have so much technology helping us travel. We have so much technology helping us find our way. They didn't have satellites, they didn't have GPSs, they didn't have maps. We think they went through the Pillars of Hercules, which we call today the Straits of Gibraltar. So past Spain and North Africa and getting into the Atlantic Ocean. So we think they got all the way to the Atlantic Ocean from the other side of the Mediterranean, which is pretty huge. Also, there are some people and some scholars that think they may have even circumnavigated Africa. Circumnavigation might be a bit of a complicated word. Does anyone have any idea what circumnavigate might mean? What could circumnavigate mean?
It means that it's going to navigate and keep the line to the tape.
Right. All right, so that was my daughter's idea. So let's break the word apart. Circa. What does that kind of look like? What word does this start to kind of look like?
Circle.
So what does this look like? And I mean, you need to please quiet down. Yeah, Evelyn says circle. Perfect. Circle. Now, does anyone know what the word navigate means?
Circle.
Hearing a lot from Danny. Does anybody else have any idea about the word navigate? All right, Danny. People are being quiet, so I'll let you have it. What do you think?
Like how to find your way? How to find a way to get somewhere?
Yeah, so if we have circle and finding your way, what do you think it was? What do you think circumnavigate means? What do you think, Kirthana, when you see all that? We have circle and finding your way, and then it says Africa. So circumnavigated Africa. Don't have a guess? Anybody have a guess? Oh, Evelyn has a guess. Awesome. What do you think, Evelyn?
Sailed around the whole place of Africa?
Yeah. Some people think they may have sailed all around Africa, which you might be thinking, okay, what's the big deal? We don't have people sailing around Africa for our history books until the 1500s. And these guys are like 500 BC, so 2,000 years earlier than that. So, yeah, that's pretty impressive if they really did that. And there's some evidence that says they did. Now, we can skip this last bullet here. But what they basically did is they sailed around the Mediterranean Sea exploring and going and wound up making different colonies. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little distracted by my daughter making some noises. So all the way in Spain, they made a colony. They made a little city there, and Phoenicians lived there and started there. They went and made a colony in Tunis, which is in Tunisia today, which is called Carthage, which is going to wind up becoming an incredibly powerful city-state. So we're going to see they're sailing all around. And we know they did because they left evidence. They stayed there. They made colonies. And those colonies would help them make money, because we're going to get into their next thing besides sailing, what they're going to do tons of. So what did they do tons of as they were sailing? They traded. They were the most famous merchants of the ancient world. And they traded lots of things. And I don't think you need to write down any of these things except one. They traded purple dye. Phoenician actually means purple people in Greek. That's what the Greeks called them, the purple people, because they were so famous for trading this purple dye. Purple was an incredibly hard color to be able to get. And what do we usually equate purple with? What do we always think that would wear purple? What kind of people would wear purple? What kind of people, Evie?
Royal families.
Royalty, yeah. I mean, well, you're wearing purple right now, so yeah, so you know what it's like to be royalty. So purple was super rare. The only way that the Phoenicians figured out how to make it is there was a shellfish called a murex, and they would boil it down. So it was like, you know, shellfish juice, kind of. But that's how they would make their purple dye, and they became super famous. This was the most important trade good that they had and made them super, super rich. Was that what you were going to say too, Michael? Sorry, I didn't see yours come in. What you had to? Purple or royalty? Yeah. Tess? I'll think that's a yes. T's right next to it. All right. And so here we just see some of the trade routes that they had. We see those three city-states that I mentioned before, but Byblos, Sidon, and Tyre. And they're going to trade all around North Africa. They're going to trade in Spain. They're going to trade in these Mediterranean islands like Sicily, Sardinia, Corsica, Crete, Cyprus. They are going to go and have so much trade. And like I said, their most important trade good is purple dye. I promise, guarantee you, you're going to be asked on a quizzy-poo, testy-poo about what they did to make money, which was trading, and their most famous trade good, purple dye. Like I said, Phoenician literally means purple people. That's how much they were equated with their purple dye business.
I'm making a firefly.
Cool, Emmy. Now, as they went, it's not like they were robots. Shania the Phoenician was just like, here's my purple dye. Now pay me, Lexi. No, she went and talked and got to know Lexi and told Lexi about this amazing thing she invented, the alphabet. So remember, hieroglyphics were super, super complicated. They had hundreds and hundreds of symbols. When the Phoenicians came in, they're like, oh, you could use them for sounds. And they had 22 letters in their alphabet. We have more. But different languages have different numbers. But it's one of these things that the Phoenicians invented the alphabet, and then they went and traded that knowledge around. And eventually it wound up going and getting to the Greeks, which then the Romans borrowed that alphabet. And then guess what? English borrowed a lot from the Roman alphabet. So thanks to the Phoenicians, we wind up going and having an alphabet as well. And I promise, guarantee you, there'll be a quizzy-poo, testy-poo question. What was their major contribution to the world? And it's this. This invention is huge, the alphabet. Alrighty, folks? All right, so that is the end of our notes for today. Are there any questions